Hello, everyone. We are Group F and excited to present our project in collaboration with the Nova Haddad Entrepreneurship Institute. Over the last few months, we have applied the value creation wheel methodology to develop a scalable strategic solution for one of Haddad's most pressing challenges. Let's start with an overview of our team, including myself, Carolyn, Isabel, Elias, and Niklas. Now I will start by sliding into the first phase of the value creation wheel, which is define. The first phase covers the context and background, defines the challenge, the expected KPIs, and the expected engagement of stakeholders. Before diving deeper into those topics, I will give you an overview of our project with the elevator pitch and abstract. So let's begin with the problem. Despite having a powerful and global entrepreneurial alumni base, the Haddad Entrepreneurship Institute currently has no structured way to activate or scale that potential. What we're seeing is not a lack of willingness, it's a lack of structure. And in a school that's known for innovation, this gap was too strategic to ignore. So we designed the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform, a purpose-built, data-driven mentorship engine that transforms passive alumni lists into an active, scalable community. Think of it as a student to alumni bridge. It unifies scattered engagement points into a single, seamless interface. It enables structured one on one mentorship, helps alumni share jobs and opportunities, helps students, on the other hand, to apply for these jobs and host events, all while tackling data and fueling future founders. The implementation is lean but ambitious and built around the four M's: manpower, minute, money, and most importantly, motivation. Before diving into phase one, here's a quick roadmap. We applied the VCW across all five phases, supported by 114 student responses, stakeholder interviews, and benchmarking. Our final concept brings together mentorship, events, and job opportunities, all under a single umbrella. This isn't just a quick fix, it's a permanent extension of Haddad's entrepreneurial identity. Everything we built had to support Haddad's vision to empower entrepreneurial minds and its mission to become a top five business school in Europe. But that won't happen by focusing on students alone. The alumni community is the bridge between Haddad and real-world entrepreneurial success. Our first diagnostic tool was a SWOT. The strengths were clear: global alumni, a strong brand, a motivated student base. But the weaknesses were strategic. Haddad had no structured alumni system, and communication was fragmented. Meanwhile, opportunities like digital platforms and alumni willingness are huge. But threats like engagement fatigue and data privacy could undermine any effort if not addressed properly. With the TAOs, we converted those insights into strategy. One key takeaway here: Haddad needs to build something that's not only functional, but branded, visible, and clearly distinct from Nova-wide efforts. Our solution isn't about filling gaps, it's about creating a new category of engagement and long-term value. Then we zoomed out. Who's involved? Haddad is the company, small, focused, and entrepreneurial. The customers are students and alumni, each with clear but unmet needs. Competitors like WHU and IE are far ahead in alumni engagement. Our collaborators are the faculty, sponsors, investors, and the context. We're in an age of digital networking, platform fatigue, and rising expectations. To assess where Haddad stands competitively, we applied the VRIO framework. The big insight here is that Haddad already has several strong assets, like its entrepreneurial brand, trusted faculty, and corporate partnerships. But they are not fully organized or leveraged for alumni engagement. Faculty involvement, for example, is rare and hard to replicate, giving Haddad a clear sustained advantage when activated strategically. Its startup and corporate network is also highly valuable, but not yet channeled into alumni programming, making it an unused advantage. And while student demand is high, it's common across schools, so it's not a differentiator unless it's paired with a standout model. What this showed us was clear. The potential is there. Haddad just needs the right system to turn these scattered assets into a scalable competitive edge. To understand where Haddad stands today, we mapped out its current business model. Haddad creates value by offering educational programs, startup acceleration, and access to a strong network of mentors, faculty, and partners. It primarily serves students, aspiring entrepreneurs, and researchers, and focuses on mentorship events, community building, and support throughout the entrepreneurial journey. The delivery happens through workshops, events, newsletters, and digital channels tied to Nova SBE. Funding comes from the Haddad Foundation, program fees, and occasional grants or sponsorships. But here's the key insight. While the infrastructure exists for high impact education, there's no system designed specifically to activate alumni at scale. That's the missing layer we identified and the opportunity we focus on unlocking in this project. With that, we defined our core challenge, being centered around the needs including mentoring, networking, and talent access, and the missing opportunities to retain alumni as mentors, investors, and ambassadors for Haddad. We didn't define this from the inside out. We grounded it in brainstorming with our KDM, the student needs, stakeholder feedback, and market comparisons. This brought us to our defined challenge, being how can Nova SBE Haddad effectively engage alumni for long-term connections? To understand the core of the problem, we used the 5 whys framework. We found that alumni aren't disengaged because of disinterest, but because there's no structured, ongoing way to stay involved. The deeper we looked, the clearer the pattern became. Alumni engagement hasn't been a strategic priority, not due to neglect, but because the focus has naturally been on students and on programs. This led us to 5 key root causes: a lack of structured strategy, limited communication, unclear incentives, resource constraints, and no formal tracking system. Together, these didn't just reveal a problem, they outlined exactly where Haddad has the opportunity to lead. So we looked at what success should look like in form of KPIs. In the short term, engagement and activity. Midterm, mentorship, participation, and referral traffic. And in long term, donations, job creation, and startup collaboration. These KPIs helped us to stay solution agnostic early on and strategic later on. A critical part of our process was staying connected to stakeholders. We met with our KDM regularly, interviewed students, and validated insights across multiple touchpoints. This gave us both alignment and accountability and kept our solution grounded in real world needs. Now I would like to give over to Niklas for the second phase of the project.
So, now let's dive into phase 2 of our project. This phase is called. This phase is all about generating a wide range of ideas. So, first of all, to make sure our approach was grounded in what you. So, next up, we had an interview with our KDM with Mr. Rogerio Prey. To get a wide variety of ideas, just like the VCW methodology suggests, from all that research and our varied idea generation methods, you just saw the first part of these ideas. Here is the second one. So after generating all those ideas, the next big step was to come up with a solution. To handle this large number of ideas and filters, we used the poker method, which is. So this slide now shows the result of our poker method. So now we move on to phase 3 of the value creation wheel, which is called assess. So in phase 3, assess our main. After the poker method, the next step in phase 3A was to organize our 24. So here you can see the 4 different categories and ideas. At the same time, we finalized how we would evaluate these ideas. So the last really important step in phase 3 was to rank and weight these 9 chosen criteria. As you can see on this slide, we've organized our filters into 2 main categories. First, we have our compulsory filters. These are absolutely must-haves that any solution needs to meet. There are 2 of these. Implementation cost, where development and launch must cost less than €10,000 in the first year, and time, where the platform MVP must be designed, developed, and piloted within 4 months. These are non-negotiable requirements. Then we have our optional filters, which we've weighted according to their importance. Long-term engagement gets the highest weight at 25%. The platform must enable ongoing mentor-mentee relationships and have a user return rate over 50%. Next is measurable impact at 20%. We need to track KPIs like numbers of mentors, events hosted, and job posted with at least 3 KPIs reported quarterly. Feasibility come in at 16%. Solutions must be executable using existing institutional resources and technology. Scalability is weighted at 14%. The platform needs to support at least 500 alumni and students by the end of year 1 without major system upgrades. Development potential gets 10%. It must be designed modularly so new features like job boards or ambassador networks can be added without overhauling the core system. The last two are reach at 9%, engaging alumni across at least 3 different global hubs within 12 months, and governance and data at 6%. Ensuring GDPR compliance and allowing the Haddad team to collect data and monitor engagement through a built-in analytics dashboard. This weighting system was developed with our KDM and gives us a clear framework to evaluate our ideas. The beauty of this approach is that it makes our decision-making process transparent and ensures we're focusing on what really matters to the Haddad Institute.
Now coming to phase 4, that is all about narrowing down our ideas using the VCW method. So we started phase 4 by applying the value creation funnel to filter and evaluate the most promising options as well as the MCDA method. Then we developed a clear concept and value proposition and finally created a prototype to bring our solution to life. Throughout the whole phase, we worked closely with Rogerio, who is our KDM, to make sure that the final idea also matches his expectations. To narrow down our ideas, we applied the value creation funnel using the 2 compulsory kill filters that we mentioned before. So starting from the 24 keep ideas, both filters helped us assess which solutions we can realistically consider to solve the problem and meet Haddad's needs. So moving down the funnel led us to our final 5 ideas: a centralized CRM system, the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform, an Alumni Ambassador Program, city-based alumni events, and a targeted social media campaign for Haddad. Each of these ideas passed both compulsory filters and are strong solutions for Haddad's alumni engagement problem. After narrowing down our ideas through the funnel, we applied in addition the multi-criteria decision analysis. For this, we weighted each of our 7 optional filters based on importance and feedback of our KDM. As you can see, long-term engagement and measurable impact were given the highest weights, reflecting the strategic priorities for Haddad. Each idea was then scored against these weighted criteria, resulting in a final ranking. The 2 top-performing ideas that resulted from this were the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform and city-based alumni events. So we selected these 2 ideas because they offer high strategic alignment with the core needs of Haddad, and they also performed strongly across all key criteria. What also made them stand out is that both ideas are realistic, they are clearly defined, and they can be brought to life by using existing resources and internal teams, which was very important for us and the Haddad team. So we analyzed what mentorship or alumni programs are already out there at Nova, and currently there are 3. The first one is the Lighting Up the Stars program, which is by Haddad. It's a great initiative, but it's cohort-based and it already ends after 2 months. So this means that students often lose connections to their mentors after. The second one is more of a general mentoring and guidance program by Haddad, but this one is very hard to find and it relies on volunteer availability, and it's also only short sessions from 15 to 30 minutes. The third one is the Nova Alumni Platform. It pairs students with experienced alumni, which is manually organized, so not really scalable, and it's not focused on entrepreneurship. So what's missing across all of these is a central platform for an entrepreneurship interested students and alumni, and this is exactly what we did. So the new Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform that we developed is a centralized system that enables structured one-on-one connections between students and alumni. It brings all mentoring offers into one place, making it easy to understand, access, and navigate. What makes it powerful is that alumni can register as mentors in just minutes, and students can browse mentor profiles to find the right fit, so it doesn't have to be done manually anymore. It's not only digital, but the platform also integrates alumni events, helping to build a real community. And most importantly, this platform is open to all NOVA students and alumni interested in entrepreneurship, so not just those tied to Haddad, which makes it very scalable and an inclusive solution for everyone. Now, we also compared the current mentorship setup at Haddad with those at Cattolica and the WHU. So the Haddad program is cohort-based, as already mentioned, and focused on startup founders. But the process is manual with very limited platform integration and hard to find. Cattolica, they have a tailored alumni mentoring program, but similarly, they lack a central hub. Matching is done as well manually, and there's not really an entrepreneurship focus. In contrast, WHU has a much more integrated approach, so their digital platform allows alumni and students to self-register. They can match for mentoring and even respond to events. And they have the entrepreneurship focus. So this highlights the clear opportunity for NOVA to step up the platform integration and create something scalable and sustainable like the WHU, but with the Haddad's unique founder focus. So this is exactly what we have done with the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform. This graph shows how our final idea, the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform, compares to existing alternatives that I just mentioned across 6 key criteria. As you can see here, our solution consistently scores higher in nearly every category, so from the entrepreneurship focus and the mentor matching to platform usability, scalability, and community building. This reflects the platform's ability to unify fragmented efforts and create a stronger, more connected ecosystem that attracts more alumni. The only area where our idea scores slightly lower than the alternatives is in pricing, as our model includes a small subscription fee, unlike the alternatives do. However, we believe that the added value the platform offers clearly justifies the cost, especially given its long-term impact. So to identify our target customers, we applied the STP framework. Starting with segmentation, we looked at lifecycle stage, engagement level, venture focus, and location to slice the community. And this includes everyone, so from aspiring student founders to experienced alumni. We then defined our target groups. In general, or in total, it's 4 groups. The first one are mentees, so students or recent graduates with concrete business ideas. Then we have the mentors that are alumni or external founders giving back and sharing their expertise. And there is also the moderators that come mainly from Haddad to support the process by tracking progress and hosting events. And then the 4th one are the global nodes. Finally, to our positioning, so the platform, as already mentioned, is a single central system linking student founders to experienced mentors. For students, the value lies in faster feedback, stronger networks, and funding access. And for mentors, it's about giving back and building their brand and also helping shape the next generation of entrepreneurs. Now, to get a better idea of our 2 main customer groups, which are mentees and mentors, we created 2 personas. So here you can see Sophia and Joao. Sophia is a 23-year-old master's student at Nova. She's passionate about sustainable fashion and actively involved in the startup club. She's very curious, driven, and she uses LinkedIn to follow founders. Exactly the kind of student who would benefit from a mentorship. On the other side, we have Joao. He's 41 years old, a Nova alumni and founder of a fintech startup in Berlin. He's active in the venture capital space and he loves mentoring young founders. He gives back through pitch feedback and LinkedIn outreach, and he's looking for mentees who are engaged and passionate. So now, how exactly would the customer journey on our platform look like? So here you can see the full student journey and how the platform supports long-term engagement. So students who join Nova with an entrepreneurial mindset discover the Haddad Institute inside of Nova, where they can learn about the support available. Early on, they can then sign up on the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform and become mentees. So there they get access to one-on-one mentoring, events, and networking opportunities. And this helps them grow their ideas, build skills, and expand their network during their studies. And then once they graduate, the journey actually continues. So students can then return as mentors, sharing their experience and supporting the next generation. Through events and the platform, they stay engaged, they give back, and they strengthen the global Haddad community, turning mentees into lifelong ambassadors. Coming to the 7 Ps. So as already mentioned before, the final product is a digital platform connecting entrepreneurial students with experienced alumni for one-on-one mentoring and long-term networking. The price is a small annual subscription fee of €15 per mentee, which keeps the platform financially self-sustaining. Promotion happens through Haddad's channels, including LinkedIn, newsletters, student clubs, and internal events. In terms of place, the platform will be hosted as a subpage under the Nova SBE website, offering everything from sign-up to updates. Then the people involved include alumni mentors, Nova students, and the Haddad staff that manage the platform. The processes are simple, so alumni apply online, students book sessions, and everything is tracked by the team. And lastly, the physical evidence includes branded pages, mentor bios, event photos, and success stories. They all reinforce the platform's credibility and engagement.
So, to better explain the business model and how everything is connected, we visualized it on this slide. This model is built on a strong exchange between mentors and mentees. Mentors, who are usually alumni and founders, provide one-on-one guidance and can identify top talent for internships or roles in their startups. Mentees, who are current Nova students, gain access to experienced alumni, build their network, and receive targeted support for their startup ideas. They are all connected through the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform, which is a centralized system where profiles, bookings, and data tracking come together. The platform is maintained and moderated by the Haddad team, ensuring quality and alignment with the institute's mission, while also gaining knowledge about the location and information of alumni, which they can then forward as well to Nova. The result is a win for everyone, so mentors contribute and connect, mentees grow and gain insights, and Haddad strengthens its global entrepreneurial network and brand.
How will the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform look like? So the platform will be fully integrated into the existing Nova SBE website. We propose adding a new alumni tab that you can see here on the right under the Haddad Entrepreneurship Institute section. And this simple change increases visibility and gives alumni direct access to all content, resources, and tools available for them through the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform. By placing the platform here, we ensure easy access, credibility, and also alignment with Haddad's core ecosystem. So by clicking on the alumni tab in the Haddad section of the Nova SBE website that we saw before, and that you can see here on the left, this is the window that would open. So in the middle of the slide, you can see the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform and how it would look like. So here, alumni can then explore everything in one place. So from seeing on the mentors map where everyone is currently located, to having the possibility to apply for events. They also have the mentorship, they can manage their membership and see job postings. The platform is designed to connect and empower entrepreneurial Nova alumni globally, so keeping them closely linked to the Haddad community while giving them access to exclusive resources and networking opportunities. Now let's get into more detail of each of these subpages. The first subpage of the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform is the interactive members map that you can see here. It shows where alumni around the world are located, and it makes it easy to filter by name or city, helping users connect with peers in the same area or explore entrepreneurial talent globally. So whether mentees look for support in a specific market or an alumni trying to reconnect with the local founder network, this map is a very powerful tool to foster collaboration, visibility, and cross-border connections across the Nova community interested in entrepreneurship. This section of the platform brings together all the events organized by Haddad, such as founder meetups or pitch sessions, and displays them in one central, easy-to-navigate overview. Users can filter by name, location, or date to find the events that are relevant to them, and they can register directly through the platform. So while large events like the Alumni Weekend, for example, only happen once a year, the value here lies in making ongoing smaller scale events, like the pitch sessions, for example, making them more visible and more accessible so that alumni and students can stay engaged with the community on a regular basis. So this mentoring feature, which is the next subpage of our platform, is one of the core strengths of the platform. Here, mentees can browse through available mentor profiles, like you can see, and they are able to see their expertise, their location, and also directly apply to the mentors they're most interested in. This makes the matching process much more scalable and efficient than having Haddad staff assign mentors manually. At the same time, mentors can review incoming requests and only accept mentees that they feel are a good fit and that they have capacity for, ensuring quality and commitment on both sides. This then results in stronger and more meaningful mentorships that go beyond a single 15 to 30-minute meeting and creates ongoing relationships that can actually support students through their startup journey or in general entry into the entrepreneurial world. So here on the membership tab, mentees can see their subscriptions, so how much they are paying per year, and also in case that they want to cancel the subscription, they could do it via this tab. Another great feature of the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform are the job openings. So here mentees can see which jobs have been posted by alumni and can directly apply. They're also able to filter for a location of where they're looking for an internship or a job, or also just by putting in the industry name, for example. And this is a great feature to connect alumni and students, offers students great possibilities, and brings a benefit for the whole network.
Thank you, Isabel, for sharing the insights for Phase 4 and our prototype. Let's now move into Phase 5, the ACT phase of the VCW. In this section, we will cover 3 key areas: our 4 M's and business model, a KPI framework to test our idea, and finally, a concrete implementation and control plan. Phase 5 focuses on execution, so translating our solution into real impact. We aligned the business model with strategic goals, validated it through KPIs, and built a clear implementation path. Throughout this phase, we closely collaborated with the Haddad Institute's KDM to ensure relevance, feasibility, and alignment. This slide gives you a quick summary of the 4 M's. On the left, we highlight the most important takeaways: how the team is set up, how long implementation takes, what the financial model looks like, and how motivated the key stakeholders are. On the right, you can see our 4M radar chart. It shows which areas are more complex or require more effort, and where things maybe are simpler. With that overview in mind, let's take a closer look at each M, starting with manpower. Let's begin with the first M, manpower, specifically the internal team at the Haddad Institute. This table outlines the key roles and responsibilities within the core team. 2 roles are particularly worth highlighting. First, the community manager, who plays a central role in onboarding alumni and maintaining user engagement, which is a key success factor for our platform, of course. Second, our KDM, who supported us throughout the project by ensuring quality assurance, gathering user feedback, and guiding us with strategic input. Together, this team provides the operational and strategic backbone needed to make our platform work. Now, let's take a look at external manpower, the team that will actually build the platform. So we identified 4 key roles needed. We need an UX UI designer to make the platform easy to use and good looking, a developer to build the backend and integrate things like CRM and mentorship modules, an infrastructure expert for hosting and scalability, and a project manager to keep everything on track and aligned with Nova Haddad. To fill these roles, we looked at 2 different options. So option 1, of course, is to hire a professional development firm. This gives us great quality and reliable timelines, but it's maybe a little bit more expensive and not as connected to the Nova Haddad ecosystem. Option 2 is a little bit more innovative. We suggest bringing in Nova students either through a thesis or a structured project. It's much more affordable and it creates a strong link between the product and the people who will actually use it, the students. Programs like business analytics could be a great fit over here. This 2-option model let us stay flexible, balancing quality, cost, and strategic alignment. Let's now move to the second M, minute, which focuses on our short-term timeline for operational platform development. What you see here is a 9-month roadmap from September 2025 to May 26, broken down into 4 key phases. We start with phase 0, pre-approval and governance, where the Nova BCM, which is the compliance team of Nova, and legal teams ensure compliance, risk management, and legal clearance. Based on feedback from our KDM, we've extended this step because it's known to take a lot of time. In phase 1, planning and design, we align stakeholders, define the MVP scope, and gather user insights to inform the UX UI design. This sets the foundation for building something users actually need. In the development and deployment phase, this phase covers full platform development, so backend, CRM, and mentor modules, followed by stress testing and final bug fixes. A major milestone here is the go live in March 2026. Coming finally to phase 3, launch and engagement ensures smooth onboarding, KPI tracking, and event calendar integration to activate users and drive engagement as well. Importantly, this roadmap reflects only the technical execution of the platform. Broader implementation steps before and after this phase will be covered later in the phase 5Z, implementation and control. You might wonder, why do we propose starting in September 2025? This timeline applies to both implementation options. So option 1, hiring a professional development firm, and option 2, engaging internal Nova students. For option 1, a September kickoff allows enough time for vendor sourcing, proposal review, and contract negotiation, which typically takes 4 to 6 weeks. Many firms also have better availability after summer, making it maybe easier to launch the project with focus. For option 2, involving Nova students, September marks, of course, the start of the academic year. This makes it ideal for framing the work as a semester-based student project, which increases commitment and ensures alignment with the university schedules. Now let's move into what many maybe consider as the most important question: how do we finance this? From the start, we made sure to select a challenge that is ambitious, but on the other hand, financially feasible as well. Because let's be honest, I think any solution that actually creates value will come with some level of investment. So we build a financial model that ensures the solution is sustainable in the long term. It's based on 3 blocks. So first, initial development costs, operating costs, and expected revenues, which we will walk you through step by step now. Starting here with the upfront development costs. We considered 2 scenarios. In scenario 1, we outsourced to an external development firm. Based on benchmarks from similar sized platforms, we estimate a total of 46K. While this option comes with high quality delivery, it still leverages existing Nova infrastructure, reducing fixed costs, but it remains expensive due to outsourced hours. In contrast, scenario 2 is built on student-led development. At just 3,500, it's over 90% cheaper since we rely on Nova students as part of their thesis or a course project. And we further benefit from internal alignment and full access to the infrastructure. This setup might not be as strong technically, but the cost savings and strategic fit make it a great option. Let's now explore the operating costs. Now let's take a look at our operating costs and revenue model. On the cost side, we are working with a simple setup. The total is just 6K per year. That includes small costs for platform maintenance, basic admin tasks, and marketing budget to promote the platform. We've also included event costs. These costs covers the basics like locations and setup. The goal is to keep the events low cost and make sure they pay for themselves through ticketing. Because we use Nova's infrastructure and support, we don't need to spend much. The platform is low maintenance by design already. Now on the revenue side, or the right side, we expect to generate 15,000 euros per year. Most of this comes from mentee subscriptions. For 15 euros per year, students get access to a strong mentorship network that is much cheaper compared to other coaching or networking services, for sure. We also expect support from sponsors and some income from the events as well. 5 euros per person just to cover the basic costs. So overall, this model is self-sustaining. It works without needing extra money from Nova, and it can grow in the future. Now let's look at our financial scenario analysis. We created 3 different cases: a worst case, an expected case, and a best case. These are all based on how many mentees, sponsors, and events we can reach each year. Even in the expected case, we generate 15K in annual revenue. That's more than enough to cover our yearly operating costs of 6,000 euros, giving us a healthy net result of 9,000 euros. This means, as already mentioned, the model is self-sustaining. One key takeaway: the project breaks even at just 400 mentees or with a small amount of sponsor support. So even if things don't go perfectly, it still works financially. And in the best case, we generate over 19K in surplus, giving us room to cover initial development costs and build a financial buffer for unexpected expenses, for example. So overall, we believe this model is not only realistic, but also financially strong and pretty low risk. Now let's take a look at the 4th M, motivation. Of course, any platform project depends heavily on how motivated the key partners are. We have identified 4 core stakeholder groups. First, the Haddad Institute. Their motivation is, of course, critical. They are expected to take ownership and drive ongoing governance to keep the platform sustainable. Their role has a high strategic relevance. Second, BCM and infrastructure. While important in the early stages, their long-term motivation is less critical. Their involvement can be secured through a clear and well-structured pitch in the beginning. So overall, we rate their relevance as low. Third, the developer team. Whether external or student-based, their motivation is moderately important, especially during the build phase in the beginning. In external scenarios, compensation, of course, replaces intrinsic motivation. Their relevance is medium. And finally, the Nova students and alumni. These are the core users and content providers. Their motivation to engage defines the platform's success. This group relevance is mission critical, of course. Now let's take a quick look at our business model. At its core, our platform creates value by connecting entrepreneurial students with experienced alumni through structured mentorship and community engagement. We deliver this through a low-cost, self-service platform supported by Nova's infrastructure and a scalable event and CRM system. Key activities include platform development, user onboarding, and event organization. Our customer segments include students, alumni, internal stakeholders, and institutional partners. Channels like Nova's internal tools and external events help us reach and engage all of them effectively. The model, as already mentioned, is financially lean with an initial development of just 3,500 euros and annual operating costs around 6K. The platform breaks even at just 400 mentees. Revenue streams include mentee subscription, event ticketing, and institutional sponsorships like Haddad. The value proposition is clear: affordable, high impact mentorship for students, early talent access for mentors, and a long-term engagement for Nova Haddad. Now let's take a quick look at our KPI evaluation. Starting with the KDM and team-related goals, our overall objective was to ensure a focused, transparent collaboration with our KDM. We achieved that by holding 4 alignment meetings in total, sharing notes after each one, and involving the full team in the final review. One key highlight: 90% of the team tasks were delivered on time, and we consistently ran retrospectives to improve our team coordination. Moving to the project-related goals, the main aim was to run the VCW process end-to-end on schedule. We defined clear roles and deliverables right at kickoff and validated our challenge early with our KDM. One standout result: we narrowed down 69 ideas to 5 solid solutions, and our final concept was fully approved by the KDM and is ready to roll out. Let's have a look at our platform-related KPIs, which we have structured into short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. In the short term, our main objective was to launch a functional MVP approved by the KDM and aligned with GDPR. We already defined the core features and got UX/UI approval. The MVP site is live internally, and we are halfway through the compliance process. Midterm, the focus shifts to reaching the critical mass, getting our first mentor and mentee signups, running pilot events, and onboarding our first sponsor. These are upcoming and key to validating engagement. Long-term KPIs are aimed at full institute-wide adoption. Metrics like monthly active users, active mentor matches, and event activity will be crucial. But of course, those will only be trackable once the platform is actually up and running. So to sum it up, while not everything is achieved yet, we have built a clear KPI structure to measure success after launch as well. Now we move into phase 5C, implementation and control. Unlike the short-term roadmap we have presented earlier in the minute section, this timeline zooms out a little bit to give a full picture view. What happens before, during, and after the implementation, and who needs to be involved. Phase 1, kickoff and alignment, starts in 2025. This includes the final go or no-go decision by Nova leadership, governance setup, and developer team selection. Key partners here include the Haddad Institute, Nova BCM, and potentially students if the student-led option is chosen. Then comes to phase 2, development and deployment. This is where the platform is actually built. The MVP is developed and tested, the internal team is trained, and we go live. Here, the development team, Haddad Institute, and eventually the users, students, and alumni are critical for activation and adoption. In the expansion and feedback phase, we focus on growing the user base, hosting events, and collecting feedback. This ensures the platform remains relevant and engaging. Key actors here are the Haddad commercial team, students, and the community. Finally, the last phase, phase 4, evaluation and growth, looks at long-term sustainability through KPI tracking and strategic refreshers like updates. The Haddad Institute, finance team, and alumni council will be essential in guiding future roadmap decisions. So overall, this timeline maps a clear path from strategy to execution and beyond.
Thanks, Elias, for walking us through the 4Ms and the rest of phase 5 in such detail. To wrap things up, we'll now move into our conclusion. We'll take a step back, reflect on the overall project, and cover a few final points before we close. With any project, there are a few key challenges we need to be aware of for our Haddad alumni engagement platform. We've identified 4 of them, and more importantly, we've already thought about how to tackle them. First, awareness and communication. If students don't hear about the platform, they won't use it. So we plan to promote it actively using Nova's internal channels like newsletters, the student portal, and orientation events. We'll also use LinkedIn and Instagram and tie it into career fairs to make sure it's always visible. Second, platform data actuality. Outdated profiles reduce trust and engagement. To avoid that, we suggest assigning clear roles for data maintenance, setting automated reminders, and running quarterly data audits. Third, investment recovery. Even with low upfront costs, the platform still needs to earn back the initial investment. That's why we built a financial model with multiple revenue streams, subscriptions, sponsors, and event ticketing. We expect break even in just 1 to 2 years. Fourth, subscription fee. Even a small fee might hold back some students. To mitigate that, we highlight the career benefits of joining the platform and propose a 6-month free trial to get early users on board. Now, to make all of this happen, we'll need strong partners. The Haddad Institute will play a key role in strategic ownership, alumni access, and overall platform governance. Nova students and alumni are the heart of the platform. As both users and content creators, their engagement is what drives success. The BCM and infrastructure team supports us with integration, approvals, and data protection. And finally, the developer team, whether students-led or external, will be responsible for building and maintaining the platform itself. With these partners in place, we believe the project is not only feasible, but fully ready for implementation. Now let's take a quick look at the final project outputs and what this means from managerial perspective. First, the output. Our platform, the Haddad Alumni Engagement Platform, along with the first local events, is ready to go live within the next 6 to 9 months. It'll kick off with a flagship launch event to build awareness and excitement. In terms of monitoring, a live dashboard will track key metrics like monthly active users, mentor-mentee matches, event participation, and alumni donations. These insights will be shared regularly with the KDM to make quick adjustments assistance if needed. Looking at organizational change, this platform positions the Haddad Institute as a central gateway between students and alumni founders. It strengthens the entrepreneurial ecosystem and supports Nova SBE's ambition to move into the European top five. And lastly, the KDM's role doesn't end with launch. They'll lead awareness campaigns, keep momentum going through regular events, and track KPIs each quarter to make sure everything stays on track. To wrap things up, we also spoke with several key stakeholders to get their perspective on the solution. Isabel, who was part of our project team, shared how this process helped us really understand what was missing in alumni engagement. She described our solution as lean, scalable, and directly aligned with student needs. Our KDM Rogerio said it's one of the few ideas he's seen that creates true impact for everyone involved. For him, the strength of the platform is how it builds real community in a way that's both strategic and long term. Sita, a current Nova student, also gives her view. She's planning to launch her own startup and said that this platform finally gives her access to real founders for practical advice, something she's been missing. And on the right, you can see a behind the scenes look at one of our working sessions with Rogeria. We regularly met at the Nova SBE Haddad Institute to align on key steps and shape the best possible outcome for this project. Over the past 4 months, this project definitely had its ups and downs. We had to go back and forth, adjust ideas, revisit filters, and align closely with our KDM at every step. It wasn't always easy, but that's what made it valuable. There are a few key lessons we are taking away. First, stakeholder engagement really matters. Having constant feedback from the Haddad Institute helped us stay aligned and made our solution stronger. Second, the VCW structure gave us a clear framework. With so many ideas and directions, it really helped us stay focused and move step by step. And finally, team collaboration. Working with people from different backgrounds pushed us to think more creatively and stay flexible when things got challenging. Looking back, our project was characterized by four challenges, the first two in particular. The first was positioning. We needed to ensure that our solution highlighted Haddad's entrepreneurial niche without overlapping with Nova SB's broader alumni system. This was more than a branding issue. It was about designing something that was purposeful, relevant, and strategically clear. Secondly, aligning vision with feasibility. Our KDM had a bold vision, something more in the direction of an incubator. While this ambition was inspiring, we needed to translate it into a realistic student-led solution with clear focus areas and implementation phases. Finding this balance required several iterations. In the end, we developed an alternative solution that offers strong added value while remaining feasible, so the mentorship system. Along the way, we also faced the uncertainty of defining the exact challenge, whether the core problem was the technology, engagement, or structure. And as the input evolved, it became an ongoing task to maintain direction while incorporating stakeholder feedback. These challenges forced us to remain focused, strategic, and flexible, and ultimately led us to a solution that was both visionary and feasible. Lastly, to support our work, we followed the professor's Tiago-based AI prompt, which was especially helpful given the complexity of our challenge. AI helped us to generate over 70 ideas and more than 20 evaluation filters. These were then refined using the POCA method and prioritized with MCDA scoring and stakeholder alignment. The iterative nature of the prompt also helped us revisit earlier phases when new input came in. In the end, AI confirmed our two strongest concepts, the Haddad alumni engagement platform and the city-based events. But what we also learned was that while AI can support and accelerate the process, it still can't replace human judgment, especially when it comes to understanding stakeholder needs and making strategic trade-offs. To close, we just want to say a big thank you. Thanks to our Katie and Rogerio for the open exchange and valuable insights throughout the process, and also to our professors for guiding us through the VCW framework and showing us how powerful structured problem solving can be. We really enjoyed working together as a team, and we hope this solution creates real value for Haddad and moves into final implementation someday. Thanks again for your time and for your attention.